Badminton's best are enjoying the splendour of Singapore this week, always one of the season's most eagerly awaited events. The 73rd time the city-state has staged this event. And we've a top-class field here, only 2 months before the Olympic Games. A warm welcome to the Singapore Indoor Stadium, and our thanks to Eun Yok Wen, member of the Singapore Badminton Association Management Committee, for carrying in the World Tour Finals trophy. Well, here's our lineup then, starting with an intriguing mixed doubles. Ferdinansyah and Widjaja up against 7 seeds Tang and Say, but the Indonesians with the better head-to-head record. Then we switch to women's singles. It's Han Yufei, fresh from reaching the final of the Thai Open 10 days ago, and she's won the last 3 against Aya Ahori. Kitty Hanakul and Prajongjai did even better in Bangkok. The Thai Open women's champs start big favourites versus Sung and Yu. Then another chance to see 17-year-old Japanese sensation Tomoka Miyazaki. Only 1 place in the rankings separates the teenager from Vietnamese Nguyen Thuy Linh. Before one of the matches of the day, Chiao Tien-chen against Jonathan Christie, both enjoying a welcome resurgence of form. 5 more matches to follow on court 1 after that. The first one isn't bad, is it? Intanon versus Yamaguchi, and the finish is pretty tasty too. Number 1 seed Victor Axelsen against Lakshya Sen. That's with Jill and Steen later on. So we begin with mixed doubles. Here's how the draw is panning out. This is the 3rd quarter, and we are concentrating on that 2nd match down. And as you can see, Yi and Lee await the winners, the Chinese Taipei pair. And the players are on their way to our TV court, court number 1. My name's Trevor Harris. Alongside me, delighted to have former Aussie Pro and coach Jeff Toe. Jeff, we've got an intriguing mix of matches today. We're going to see the young 17-year-old. We're going to see that intriguing men's singles at the end there. Jonathan Christie in such good form. But this is fascinating too, because Ferdinansyah and Widjaja, despite being ranked down at 18 in the world, have a better head-to-head record against the Hong Kong pair.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think looking at the world rankings and just based on history, you would expect the Hong Kong pair to be the favourites, but surprising to see that they are 1-2 down in that head-to-head. So a really great way to start off day 2 at the Singapore Open. Well,
there is the confirmation of that head-to-head. The last meeting, which Tang and Say actually won, their first victory over the Indonesians 15 months ago at the Hilo Open quarter-final stage. It took them 3 games though, as you saw.
Black. Service. Set to serve. Nation to receive. Decide. Have a good match.
So let's give you a bit more information then about this quartet. Beginning with the Indonesians, and there is the Dean Ferdinansyah, ranked 18 in the world, as you can see. They have been a little higher than that, actually. They've been up at 14 before. That was about a year ago. Been together for a couple of seasons. Won a bronze at the Asian Championships last year. Glory Widjaja is considerably older than her opponent, actually. Big breakthrough last December when they won their first Super 300. That was at the Syed Modi in India. Other side of the net, Tang Chun Man and Se Ying Suet. 8 years ago they won their first title. Of course, they're a pair on and off the court. Who was in the national team at 18 was Tang. And Se Ying Suet, who was a flag bearer at the last Olympics, actually, in Tokyo. Of course, only a couple of months till it all starts again in the French capital, in Paris. 6 World Tour titles they've won, including the German Open in March. So certainly in form, and it'll be a test of Ferdinansyah and Widjaja's decent record against them if they can continue that here today. Early start on just the second day of the event. Our first day of coverage, just gone 10 o'clock in the morning. There's Ivo Kassel of Switzerland, who's in the chair for this one. And he'll be assisted by Eddie Susanto of Singapore in the service judge's chair.
Ready to play?
Big prize money on offer here this week, nearly $1 million US, 850,000 to be exact. At least the stress and the strain of Olympic qualification is behind the athletes now. They're at the forefront of their mind for some while, I think it's fair to say. Kind of like a release of pressure, Jeff, I think that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a hard road for that 12 months of qualification for the Olympic period. High stakes, playing a lot of tournaments to rack up the world ranking points to qualify. So while for a lot of players out there it's a relief and it's a celebration that they have made it to the Olympic Games, of course the job hasn't finished. They still need to keep in that good form, keep that training up so that they can perform at the games themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Widjaja Ferdinansyah, Gloria Emanuel, Widjaja, Indonesia. On my left, Sudirman, Sudirman, Hong Kong, China. Ayant Suède, Christophe, Widjaja Ferdinansyah. Double. Play.
Other thing that should be said, although obviously Olympic qualification has finished, but for those players in all 5 disciplines that are kind of hovering around anywhere from about 5th to, I don't know, 15th, there's massive points in terms of getting into the top 8 and getting to the World Tour finals in Hangzhou just before Christmas. Nicely placed that from C.
Great fast rally there. You can tell in that rally, no one wanting to lift, no one wanting to give the attack away.
It's not the biggest day in Ferdinansyah, but already power from the back of the court is causing Tang and Say a bit of a problem.
And that's 2 flick serves in a row, which we don't often see with perfect depth. So feeling confident with that length, I think. And another one there.
Not just power, but a little subtlety as well from Ferdinansyah.
And again.
He's going to keep trying it, keeps working.
Now, just based on those the 4 points just played, it looks like maybe the wind is against the Indonesians here, so it's a bit easier to hit to the rear court. But of course, we'll see as the match goes, because the drift can change each and every day.
And those kind of errors will just give Ferdinansyah and Widjaja even more confidence. Off to an absolute flyer here.
Yeah, well, what a great start here for the Indonesians. I feel like the Hong Kong pair do need momentum, though. I feel that when they're not confident, they don't tend to play as well. They rely on that confidence.
Widjaja doesn't miss much at the net. That was a fairly straightforward kill, but nonetheless, they are just putting Tang and Say under huge pressure at the moment. They've been playing for 2 minutes.
And that floats out the back quite far there, so I do think the drift is going in the direction that the Hong Kong pair are hitting. But what a great start. 10-1. And another flick serve. You see a little bit ready for that flick serve to get that shuttle down.
That just broke a run of 9 straight points for the Indonesians. Well, who would have predicted an 11-2 scoreline at the mid-game interval? Not many, I don't think.
Definitely not me, and this is basically the first rally that Tang's had a look at a good smash. Unfortunate there that C missed that shot, because I think that's the way that the Hong Kong pair need to play, especially with that drift, with that wind. It's so hard to get good defensive lifts to the rear court without hitting it out the back. So they really need to try to get that shuttle below the net to get the attack themselves, which we haven't seen in the first half of this set. Tang managed to do a pretty good save in this one here and getting that back. But again, just the attacking pressure of the Indonesians. You can see how short that lift is from C though, making it easier for the Indonesians to penetrate with their attack. Obviously showing it's hard to get that good length from that side.
It's almost like every rally, Tang and Say are trying to just stay in the point. All the aggression, all the pressure is coming from the two in blue here. Another example there.
A great early take off the net from Widjaja there, forcing that lift. She's been really switched on forward, being able to take the shuttle early, which is great. And that is a perfect flick serve. I think that's landed basically on the line from my view here.
Well, a combination of intelligent play, winners from the Indonesians and some errors from Tang and Say, and that's contributed to that very lopsided scoreline.
Oh, great shot.
Just a beautiful angle, isn't it?
Playing freely here, the Indonesians now. Yet another flick serve there. I'd be thinking the Hong Kong pair should be looking a little bit more for that flick serve, because it is coming a lot of the time.
I think this might be one of the potentially quickest games I've ever commentated on. 7 minutes. And the pair on the wrong side of the scoreline are the number 7 seeds here. here a 16-game point. Simple as that. 21-4. What on earth do Tang and Say's coach say to them now?
Look, I think it's you have to restart. That was a warm-up game per se, and let's get into it now. They're playing against the drift, so it should be a lot easier for them to control the shuttle.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens in the second game, particularly in terms of whether the drift does make it a much more of an even contest. It certainly hasn't been so far. I mean, drift or no drift, Jeff, this is a test of character now, isn't it, for the Hong Kong-China pair?
Yeah, they've just got to really get back to just reset and just get back to playing well, playing confidently. But it's already a 2-love start on this harder end for the Indonesians. So Hong Kong pair really, you can see just trying to loosen up, just trying to get into the game here. Great attacking pressure again from the Indonesians. That is a much better point from the Hong Kong pair. Taking the shuttle early. When you're playing against the drift and the opponent is finding it hard to hit it to the rear court, you need to push forward, take the shuttle early, just like in that rally.
Well, that's about the first point that probably the Indonesians should have won, but didn't.
Yeah, the Indonesians had the upper hand in that for sure, but Tang did really well there. Just get it just over Widjaja there.
Lovely touch.
You can see here, especially when C defends, she tends to backpedal a lot. So you see there, she's just, her body weight is backwards, respecting the faster, harder shot, which is why that was such a great shot to take the beat out.
Looks to the heavens there, Ferdinansyah, when he missed that, but It's about the first thing he's missed all day.
Yeah, his attack's been spot on. Some of that's also combined with the really good length of that lift from Tang.
Normal service resumed.
And just a miss hit there by Tang in that defensive shot, which you wouldn't usually see him make that kind of misjudgment in timing. So I think he's still trying to find his feeling out there.
Well, she can't do anything wrong at the moment either, Gloria Widjaja.
She's really taking control of this net. And just predicting that cross-court shot, taking speed out once again.
Good lead in the end.
Yeah, look pretty close, but quite make it.
Do have Hawkeye incident in operation this week. 2 challenges per pair per game. Well, the kill was from Ferdinansyah, but Widjaja really was the cause of Hong Kong-China pair's demise in that point.
That shot there.
Yeah.
She took speed out of it again. You see Tang in the center of the court here trying to help C with the defense, which opened up his side of the court, which became a space for Ferdinansyah to target. What a great put away there. That's better from the Hong Kong pair. Taking speed out, finding that gap in the court. You can see Ferdinansyah ready to cover the rear court there to attack. But Tang just putting it straight in front of him.
Just can't really get any measure of consistency at the moment. Tang and C.
I feel like the point itself was constructed quite well. They're in that position where they're both standing quite far into the court, getting the shuttle down. But just those errors just letting them down there. And yet another flick serve.
Well, 11-5 in just 16 minutes, the match total. They just won no more than 1 consecutive point in the first game, no more than 2 so far in the second. And that's not going to get you very far.
Think first, thinking next.
Well, just looking for more of the same, these two. It's been a ridiculously quick match so far.
Over 6-11.
Great attacking play there. Again, that was the setup with that short lift that Tang hit that backhand off. And just a big gap in the middle of the Hong Kong players. See kind of covering that line. Another flick serve. One of the first rallies that the Indonesian pair haven't been able to penetrate that defense of the Hong Kong, but that's a really good shot by C there. And that's what I want to see a little bit more of. I want them to challenge the net a little bit more. Try to get the lift and the attack for themselves rather than playing passively. Good interception there by C.
Well, pressure told in the end, just as Tang and C were potentially threatening a bit of a comeback. It's been nipped in the bud for now.
Great placement there. Tang was waiting for the shot down the line, but he just brought that back into the center of the court.
Bit of a cheap point, that one.
Yeah, just still trying to find their feeling on the court. They've definitely played a lot of better points in this set, but just let down a little bit with the inconsistency. A little bit of a miss hit by C there, so the speed of the smash came a little bit slower than what it looked like it should have off the racket. Little apology there.
Just for a moment, Widjaja was looking nervously to her left, thinking that might drop in, but it was wide.
Good attacking pressure once again there.
She just for a second thought, oh, maybe I need to get that, but wrong side of the line from the Hong Kong China point of view. So's that.
Looks like there might be a I thought that C was challenging that, but maybe not.
And we're kind of pretty much right behind that line. Looked to be wide, and I think Tang and C realising no point challenging what would be a lost cause, but they need to do something quickly, otherwise they're going to be out of here in double quick time. I mean, the drift really hasn't come into it, Jeff, has it? They've just been outplayed.
Yeah, but I feel like in the first set, I found that the Hong Kong pair were really struggling with the drift, but the Indonesians just tend to, they just look like they're playing normally.
Yeah.
They don't seem too hesitant or anything like that. Another great interception by Widjaja there.
18-11.
And Trevor, what I was saying about at the beginning about the Hong Kong pair needing that confidence to play. I feel like when they are confident, they can beat anyone in the world, but when they're not, then their level between their highest and their lowest level is quite different, as we're kind of seeing today, because they just don't feel comfortable out there. I feel like they haven't really gotten into the match here.
Yeah, well, this certainly comes into the latter category. And it wouldn't have been a massive surprise, as we said, if Tang and C had lost, just because, you know, the head-to-head was against them. But I don't think anyone expected this kind of a margin. 3 points away from the place in the next round. Well, if they win the next couple of points, might make things interesting. Certainly as close as they've been. For a while in this game. 4 points.
Yeah, 2 floating out the back for the Indonesians. So yeah, definitely the drift. They're playing with the drift here. I did think it was going to be more of a factor in the second set, though. We haven't seen them hit too many out the back as the Hong Kong pair did in the first. Great placement there. Right towards that left knee, or a bit lower than the hip of C.
And we're at that point in the match now where clearly Tang and C just can't afford any errors. And now that is literally the case, because 6 match points for Ferdinansyah and Widjaja.
Great shot there to the middle. A little bit of confusion between Tang and C, both going for it. And because of that, the quality of that lift was very short, easily put away.
Court 3, 20 seconds. Match point 14. Ready?
That drift keeping that shuttle in there.
Nowhere to go. Very late afterthought from Ferdinansyah. In the end, just put it right into the hitting zone. Astonishingly facile victory, really. It's taken just 27 minutes. And Ferdinansyah and Widjaja effectively could be back for a late breakfast here. Straight games, 21-4, 21-15. So they improved their head-to-head against Tang and Sei to 3-1 in their favour, but the Hong Kong-China pair just not at the races today at all. The tone was really set in the first game and continued in the second. No wonder they're all smiles. See them again in the round of 16. 21-4, 21-15. The number 7 seeds sent packing in the Singapore Open early on here on this Wednesday morning.
Indonesians will be so happy with that result. They were switched on from the very beginning of the first set. Had the momentum through the vast majority of the match. And have sent Sei and Tang packing very early, very quickly.
Well, a warm welcome back to the Singapore Indoor Stadium. So after a very straightforward victory for Ferdinansyah and Widjaja, we're now turning our attention to women's singles. Ayo Hori of Japan taking on Han Yue of China, the number 6 seed. And Han Yue has had the upper hand against the Japanese of late. There's the third quarter of the draw. Pretty strong in the bottom half, doesn't it, with the likes of Sindhu and Marin. Either Gao or Chochuwong play the winner of this upcoming match on court 1. Officials just arriving on court, which means the players won't be far behind.